Sit on down and pour yourself a glass.
And tune into your favorite podcast,
where things will be misquoted
and opinions ain't sugar-coated.
'Cause DJ and Kelly are locked and probably loaded.
Okay, we're talking about AI and about how the AI filter has just showed up on my Instagram, like out of nowhere. I didn't know what it was, so I clicked it, and I spent a whole day doing things like show me a kangaroo flossing its teeth, show me a dinosaur wearing a diamond necklace. And then somehow you came back from the bathroom.
Yeah, because I had just gotten an email that my dad updated his life book that he did with a chapter about the kids.
That's right. And this idea is really interesting. Kelly told me that they got her dad a kit. Is it a kit?
Yeah, we got our parents Storyworth for Christmas like 2 years ago because we wanted them to be able to like write down their life stories, and I'm sure there's tons of things that they've told us that we've already forgotten or stories that we've never heard.
And it's such a good idea because I know this from my own family. Like when people die, like all their stories are lost with them. We forget things, and also if you're being told things as a child, who can internalize anything as a child?
Yeah, how am I supposed to remember that? So we got that for them, and my dad was like really diligent about it and filled out everything every week. And I know that you can choose the questions, so that was our bad that we didn't choose any specifically about the kids.
Oh, I didn't know that.
My dad is like very career driven, and loves my mom. He's obsessed with obsessed with my mom. But he's not like a super emotionally available guy. He has become that way over the last like 6 or so years, and he and I have really bonded a lot. But when also that happens a lot though when people have grandchildren. Yeah, they open up in a way that they didn't, because you're busy living your life, right? You have your head down, you're working, you're young too. For sure, and like our life growing up wasn't easy, you know. It's like he was struggling all the time trying to figure out how he's gonna, pay the bills and keep shit together, you know. But I am definitely somebody who is like I feel like because there was always so much going on growing up. It's like we didn't have that relationship where it's like I felt loved, but it's not like we were that family. We're very much an even-keeled family. Like we don't really fight hard, but we don't love hard either. And there are plenty of different types of family dynamics where you have people who are like super, super close and they want to hang out all the time, but they also fight massively.
I'm going to kill you.
Yeah, exactly.
But I love you so much.
Yeah. So I'm okay with that being our dynamic. But when, he was really proud of the book when it got done, and I like looked through it and I was like, man, there's like nothing really about the kids. Like maybe we were mentioned here and there, but like I would have liked to hear how it felt to you to become a dad, to be a dad. Like what was that like for you? And so when they were visiting last time, my mom threw me under the bus and told him that I was upset by this or whatever. And so he brought it up to me. And of course, immediately I start crying because anything with my family makes me so emotional. But I also didn't want to make him feel bad because it wasn't like, fuck dad, he didn't do this thing. It was just like, oh man, that sucks. Like It sucks that it wasn't something that was an automatic. And so sorry, I'm crying now. He just sent an email saying like, hey, I added a chapter called My 3 Kids, blah, blah, blah. And so I just read a little part of it and it's really sweet.
And what most people don't realize is that less than a millimeter below Kelly Blackheart's tough, crusty exterior is all goo.
See, but that's the thing. I don't know that I really come off as tough.
I do.
Like, really?
I absolutely 100% think that you come off as tough.
I'm so goo.
Like being like...
I'm so sentimental.
Well, let me give you reasons for that. Because you will acknowledge extreme trauma and then do this. But I'm the person that can handle it. So that is saying out to the world, but I can handle things. But then the moment somebody's sweet to you, it's like this. I have no bones in my body.
I know.
It's
you
amazing.
Were complimenting me the other night when we were watching My Cousin Vinny, and I'm just like, my eyes are completely welling.
And the thing is, that's an amazing thing to have, right? It's why you're suited for entertainment, because no matter what you do in the entertainment realm, emotional availability and vulnerability are huge, because we're trying to connect with people on an emotional level or on a human level.
Yeah.
And you can't be completely crusty or can't be like, well, I've got everything in control. Everything's fine, because there's nothing human or identifiable about that.
Yeah.
And I think that you do that very well. I think you're able to do, well, I know my trauma and I know myself and know what I can deal with. I'm worried about you. Mm-hmm. And I think that's a big part of what is frustrating me about society right now, is that I feel like that's being drained away from us. It's like, well, I know how I feel, and it doesn't matter what you're going through. Mm-hmm. It doesn't. I don't need to connect with you. You're responsible for your own self. Yes, I will legislate your morality and tell you exactly what to do and how to do it, but I will take no responsibility for you at all.
Right.
And I've always feel like I say this all the time flippantly. We live in a village. We do live in a village, mm-hmm. and I feel responsible for people around me. There are limits. You can't be responsible for people to the point where it destroys you and
Sure,
your
yeah.
life gets mired down. But I think it's so good to be like, I've gone through this. How do you feel about that? What have you gone through anything similar? And also in subconscious ways where you could hear a nice thing or a kind word, and it really, and it shows, and you can melt under that. I think that's amazing.
Well, I think a lot of my value always stemmed from being good at things, like either winning things in sports or being, being the person who's light and jovial and all that stuff in the room. And it was like, once I got older and I started getting like compliments about who I am as a person and not the things that I do, those are really meaningful. Like it like feels really good when somebody sees you, obviously, right. Like we talked about. But also what's interesting is like there are two different types of people. There are people who go through hard shit and then don't want to open the door for anybody else. It's like, well, I went through it. And so it's like when you talk about canceling student loans or whatever, people are like, well, I already paid my student loans. It's like, for me, if I've gone through something really difficult, I want to do whatever I can to make sure that that other people aren't going through, because like the difficult shit fucked me up.
I don't go around to people
to make sure that you don't become miserable like I did after this thing or whatever.
Yeah, that would be like me going around to people who've been newly diagnosed with cancer, like, well, I've been through it and I'm alive, so get over it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It actually makes me more compassionate, but it also...
Oh, thank you.
It also... Isaac brought tissues.
So nice.
I'm going to get some real ones for next time.
It's okay. I don't plan on crying ever again.
God, if our podcast devolves into us sitting here bawling our eyes out...
it's just therapy.
No, but... getting back to that, I think that I probably seem like a little less crusty exterior wise, or a little less tough, like to the general public. Like I probably seem more accessible than I am.
Yeah.
Because I don't really. I set myself up in this world like this. I got successful as an actor, so anything nice that's said or done to me is at a distance. I don't like attention that I can't control, so I stay away from it. So when people are saying nice things about me, I don't really internalize it very much, and I think that's also a defense mechanism. It's like, well, you don't really know me, or you're talking about.
That's the easiest way to shield yourself from internalizing the negative stuff. It's like, so you were thrust into such a big amount of fame right away that you had to find a way to protect against that.
And there's so much negative, right? It's still to this day. Like, and I hope this doesn't come off as dick measuring misery, because when something's written that Kelly, like, it hurts her, or it's like, I will counter with this thoughtlessly, like, well, the stuff that I have is written about me right now, I could go in and show you probably 10,000 people that wrote something about me yesterday. That's really awful. I'm thinking about that right now. I hope it doesn't sound insensitive, but because I really had to get to a place where I'm just like, none of it can matter. Like, or none of it, not matter, but none of it can really penetrate too deeply, because if I listen to all of that negative stuff, to the good stuff, then some of the negative stuff has to be true too.
Yeah.
Right?
And more so I'm talking about like in your personal life and stuff like that. It's like, it is really nice when people acknowledge the things that you try really hard to be, or
Yeah.
you know, that you like. I had a friend who it's just like when they came to me with something, I was like, wow, you really don't care about all of the shit that I've been there for you for. Like, you make it sound like I haven't been through every traumatic event in your fucking entire life, that
Yeah.
I haven't crafted all your emails for you, that I haven't done all, like, and so
She's not talking about me.
yeah, so there are some people who like take advantage of who you are, and so when somebody else acknowledges it and it's like, hey, I see how much you care about this thing, or how much you do for so and so or whatever, it's like, it is nice, because I don't expect everybody to put as much into things as I do. Like, but at the same time, when somebody's acting like they just expect that, it
Yeah.
really puts me off.
Well, I mean, the sad thing about it is that you teach the world how to treat you, right?
know,
And if
yeah.
and like when people say, I ask for very little, like, I ask for very little from you, I'm like, well, that's your first problem.
Yeah.
Is I ask for very little
it's
from
a
you.
mindset shift that I've really had to come to terms with, because same thing when I look at people who work in entertainment that are generally pretty easy to deal with, and then I look at their management and stuff like that, and it's like their management doesn't do anything for them because they're not the squeaky wheel.
Right.
And the squeaky wheel gets the grease. You know, it's like that they're gonna put all their effort into maintaining this person who is so fucking atrocious and difficult to deal
Right.
with and all that stuff, because they're the one who complains all the time. And I don't think I'll ever shift to being that person, but I'm a lot more vocal about what I want and need now. Like, closed mouths don't get fed. And that's kind of a realization that I've had over the last couple of years, that I have to tell people what I want in order to receive that.
What inevitably happens in entertainment, though, and this happens to everybody, unless you are a monster, people, even if your team or you're very close to your team, they will stop seeing you as aspirational because they know you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a problem. And I've had that with, like, I love my team, and I've had the same manager since the beginning of my career, but I have felt at times, I mean, it's not pervasive, but I've felt at times, I'm like, hey, over here, pay attention to these things that I'm doing outside of the realm of being representing me as an actor. I'm doing other things, and they're important things. And like, I don't think any of my team, they're aware of this podcast, but I don't think I've not been questioned about it. I've not been asked anything about it. I mean, for all they know, I'm destroying my career with every episode, which I think I may be, actually. So if this doesn't work, I'm probably going to be fucked. Fingers crossed. No, but I actually have had moments of thinking about that. Like, the sort of honesty that I'm displaying here is just not done.
Yeah, I mean, I think some actors have podcasts, but you're right. I think a lot of people have to censor themselves in ways to think about their next job and stuff like that. But at the same time, I think that society and like the listenership and the fans of these people desperately crave authenticity.
Yeah, but they're not hiring, though. And
No,
so
I know.
That's what I'm saying.
I know.
That
It's a massive disconnect.
the fact that people that make creative decisions in the entertainment business have masters of business administration from Harvard. They're not creatives. So they really don't know. Like, you look at places like Netflix that make so much content and then cry poor. It's like, well, you're poor because you've made a bunch of content that people don't want to see, and then you'll have a Bridgerton that pops through and everybody loves it.
Right. Or you'll cancel something that, I
Yeah.
mean, granted, I do know that it's like on Netflix and all of the other streamers, if you really liked something, click the button that says love this.
Yeah, and
or
also
like
see
this
it.
or whatever.
The thing is,
watch the whole thing.
I didn't realize this, is that views that aren't registered soon aren't weighted.
Yeah.
And so the way that I watch television is actually bad for the things that I like to watch.
Yep.
You need to watch it pretty quickly after it's released. Otherwise, they don't think people are interested in it.
Yeah.
And the amount of, and I say on legit, the amount of people that come up to me still and talk about the show I did with Jim Jeffries called Legit. Well, we found it 2 years after it was canceled. That was such a bummer.
Yeah.
We would have loved to have seen more. And I was like, well, that doesn't help us.
Yeah.
If you like something, you have to actively engage it or it will go from you, especially in this society or in this system where things aren't made with thought. They're just mass greenlit and whatever catches on, catches on.
Yeah. So if you really like a show and the new season's coming out, but you don't have time to watch the whole thing, play it and leave the room. Play all the episodes right away, because that's what they count. And also when you're watching cable TV, either watch it live or record it and watch it within the first 3 days of it being recorded. Otherwise, it doesn't count for ratings.
And tell your
all.
friends to do that with this podcast.
Yes.
Tell them not even to listen to it.
Yeah, just play it on a loop.
just play it. Tell
Actually,
everybody
play
you
it
know.
while you sleep. We should do a whole episode where we just do affirmations. We just record a bunch of we can make sleep audio for everybody.
Or we start out doing affirmations, but then we start getting into sinister stuff where we're like, send us all your money.
yeah.
Send us your dough.
Venmo at Kelly Blackheart. Ooh.
Have you noticed the amount of people on the like going through? I'll click on people's profile when they pop up into my feed, and the amount of people that don't do anything but have Cash App.
Yeah.
It's like they're not selling anything. They're not making entertainment videos. They're just like, you can also give me money directly for no reason at all.
Works.
Does it work?
Yeah. Like, I mean, there's no reason not to put your Venmo or your Cash App in your bio because you're gonna get zero money if you don't. But people will just send shit. Sometimes.
Embarrassment?
No, why would that be embarrassing?
To that strangers that you don't know are sending you money.
You live
for,
your life too much on embarrassment, though. Just on the other
Yeah, my therapist did say I
side of
have
the
a
door
shame
of
core.
embarrassment is
riches.
the whole new world.
It's like that movie. It's like that movie where they're shipwrecked on the side of an island and they start killing each other, but they didn't realize there's a resort on the other
Chili's.
side.
There's a Chili's 400 feet away.
You ate somebody that you grew up with.
Yeah, just
but there was a
walk
Chili's.
5 feet. It was embarrassing to walk, but you're at Chili's now with chips and queso.
Rounding the corner and you're just eating your friend, and then like the Chili's sign.
Yeah.
So
the fajitas.
I don't want to wreck this movie, but Triangle of Sadness.
I haven't seen that. I haven't even heard of
Okay,
that.
I just destroyed it for you too. You didn't?
Wait, is it new?
No, it was an Oscar movie like a couple of years
never
ago.
heard of it.
Here's the thing. So I'm going to talk about Triangle of Sadness for a second. And
Is she throwing up in that?
disclaimer, warning, I'm going to wreck this movie for you. So the plot of Triangle of Sadness is a bunch of people who are on a boat and things go horribly wrong and they're shipwrecked. Mm-hmm. And they create a society where the only person who knows, they're all rich people, and the only person who knows how to do anything, I think, worked in the kitchen of the boat. And so she becomes the Lord of the Flies leader and has sex with the best looking guy. And then I think she kills somebody, but she finds out that they're on the other side of a resort, but they're kind of remote. And so at the end, you see her trying to make the decision whether or not she's going to do it, and you know she's not going to, right? She's going to go back and keep being the king. The thing about that, people loved it because it was like such a new creative idea. It was the plot of a Golden Girls episode. The girls charter a boat with some young douchebags who, oh my, so I slept with one of those douchebags.
Why are you covering the mic like that? Like I can't hear you.
I may or may not have slept with somebody who was in that story and it wasn't one of the Golden Girls. But years later,
Not Blanche.
I was an adult and he was much older. Anyway, we may take that out.
Nah.
Probably not. And so, but it was the episode of they went out on a booze cruise with some douchebags because having the young guys flirt on it made Blanche feel hot. And the boat crashes. See, is that the boat right there?
No, that's the Golden Girl yacht.
Golden Girl yacht. I was like, it looked a lot different than that. And they literally get shipwrecked and have to go through all the trauma of being shipwrecked.
There's a Golden Girls themed cruise.
Why are we here right now?
Let's go. Dude, we got to do a Golden Girls watch on this podcast because I've only seen a few episodes.
By the way, I want some acknowledgement for us showing up to do this podcast. This is how hard it is for us to get here. Today, we parked, and then we went to get Truly's and saw between the 7-Eleven and our studio, there was a restaurant that had cocktails in the window. It said, we serve cocktails, and we both did this. They serve cocktails at the same time in unison. The amount of obstacles that we have to overcome to get here.
It was like 10 minutes till when we were supposed to start, and I was like, should we just go in there and do shots?
Yeah, it's very hard. And the first thing I said when I came in today was, Isaac and I were in here by ourselves, and Kelly went to the bathroom because Kelly has to pee every 5 minutes.
I have to pee again.
And I think it's actually, you should get a placard for your car so you could be right next
handicap,
right next to places where you can run into pee. I've never seen somebody pee so much in my life. Anyway, I sat down and just said out loud.
I would try to see a doctor, but I have to wait a year and a half.
And you'll be told the reason why that you pee
They
so
said,
much.
"Oh, you're not at risk of killing yourself right now, so you actually can't see the urologist."
No, they'd be like, you're wearing short sleeves. You're a whore. That's why you pee so much. No, but I sat down and just said out loud, I was like, I took a shower today. And Isaac was like, don't you normally take a shower? I was like, yes, I do every day, and I want credit for it.
It is such a task getting out here. Can't wait till this is in my house.
I have a life hack for myself, because every day that we come to record this, like I'm in bed hating getting my life, because I go through the 5 stages of grief every morning when I wake up. And I love it when I'm here. I love doing the podcast, but it's very hard for me to get into the shower to start the day. But once I'm there, I'm relieved that I do it. But so what I do is I go down rabbit holes for about an hour reading the news, seeing Kelly Clarkson sing, all the things that one does. And this thing that gets me off the out of the bed into the shower is that I use a shower gel / face cleaner / hair like shampoo / moisturizer. Conditioner all in one. It comes in a big tub. I buy it for $7.99. And the ease of that, I'm like, all I have to do is pump 3 of those pumps in my hand and slather it all over my body. Pump and dump, bro. And that gets me. But I was like, what if I talk myself into the shower first and pump and dump and then go lay back down in bed? I bet you that my rabbit hole would be a lot quicker, because I wouldn't do an hour of that, and I wouldn't dread it as much because I've already started my day. Mm-hmm. I know it's not profound, but at this point I'll take anything. Yeah,
no, that's good. I think that it's funny that you bring up like the all-in-one shampoo, all that stuff, because that's such a topic online where women like move in with their boyfriend for the first time, and he starts using all of her like nice hair products and stuff like that because he's got the 8-in-1 and starts using it and then never replaces it.
I use Dial 5-in-1. Dial 5-in-1. And also this morning in the mirror, I did an out loud CeraVe tinted sunscreen commercial to myself. I really did. I'm like, hi, I'm DJ Qualls. I really did this in the mirror. Do you know about this product? I was like, originally it was invented. It's a tinted sunscreen, and it's just enough coverage where you're not wearing makeup, but it smooths everything out. And it's like $13.99. Kelly,
it's like $6.99.
The Irish Spring from Target right now is the one that I currently have. The Dial one ran out, so I wanted to try the Irish Spring one, but I'm switching back to Dial. So I did this commercial in the mirror. I'm like, originally it was developed not for a coverage; it was to disguise the white residue that's on sunscreen. Did you know that? It wasn't actually.
It didn't.
It was.
I didn't know you researched it.
I went deep. And so I did a whole commercial about it. And I was going to start this episode by saying today's episode is brought to you by CeraVe.
It will be soon.
Sunscreen.
God damn, it will be soon. Multiple people have already bought it.
CeraVe, if you like podcasts about nothing and that have a lot of dick talk in them, boy, do I have a podcast for you. If your favorite sexual position is always think about sex and then he sits over there, then boy, do I have a podcast for you. If you don't want to be bothered or touched or looked at,
nobody can mess up your sunscreen if they're sitting over there.
Exactly. But I will say this though, you have to take it off at night, because when I was at the Shaker Village shooting Carved, it gets on your pillowcase. Mm-hmm. It got on my pillowcase.
Mm-hmm. That's why I have black pillowcases.
Oh, I have black pillowcases at home too.
Oh. Yeah, white pillowcases are cheap.
Why do we have 2 residences? We should just sleep in the same bed.
We should. We should get a compound.
We're gonna buy a mansion in the valley, and with a big wall around
20 years.
it. Yeah, in 20 years. Well, no,
in
19 years.
19 years.
Speaking of sleeping in the same bed with somebody, what kind of sleeper are you?
What do you mean?
I mean,
like position?
Are you a thrasher? How do you fall asleep?
I can only sleep like one way. So I sleep with one of those U-shaped pregnancy pillows because I like to put my leg over something, but I sleep like a fucking H, and I switch from side to side. Like a lowercase
this
H.
Is a
no,
T.
a lowercase H. So like I'm straight, but then I have one leg out and bent to the side.
Okay.
And then I switch.
Where's the rest of you?
Just I sleep like this with one arm under the pillow.
Get on the
and
table
then,
and show us.
Okay. But I've tried to be I can't be a back sleeper. I can't sleep directly on my stomach. And so I'm sure it's the reason that my back is so fucked up, because I sleep like contorted into a weird position, but it's the only way I can do it. But when I was younger, I used to always, like, at the kitchen table, I would always like put my leg up on the table and rest it. I just need my legs spread out the time,
You need a. I get that. I don't like it when my legs are touching when I'm sleeping.
Yeah, it's ugh. Skin on skin is the worst.
I can sleep on my back. See, I don't move when I sleep.
I know.
I fall asleep in the same. I wake up in the same position I fell asleep in.
Yeah.
My hair doesn't even get messed up.
That blows my mind, because I do change positions all the time. Like, my ears are even sensitive that I can't sleep on one side for too long because my ear will start to hurt.
I wonder if it's because I do sleep hypnosis every night.
I do too.
So I fall asleep every night to. I get into a comfortable position, and then I put a door in I've talked about this in the podcast before. I put a door in the middle of my room, and then I enter that door, and I've established all this hallway and all these doorways that lead to places that I built. Like, there's a 1930s New York street. There is a house in a neighborhood, like in the South, with people that I know that, Golden Girls themed cruise. And so I go to these places, and so I switch between these worlds after I fall asleep. And I don't thrash around, I don't move, but I wake up a lot. I've been waking up increasingly, like after 4 or 5 hours of sleep. So my second shift is always on my back. I put the sleep mask over. I put a pillow under my left arm, and the pillow actually is a pillow of myself. So there's a girl named Andrea that goes to the Supernatural tour, and she makes little cartoon pillows of our characters. Cute. And she gave me one of Garth, and he's my left armrest.
Nice.
I'm sure there's something that I don't want to unpack about that, but it comforts me. And so I put my left arm on that pillow and just find a comfortable position for the pillows behind and I fall asleep for the next 4 hours, and it's great. Sleeping on your back, I think, is supposed to be good for you.
No, it is good for you. I just can't do it. I get sleep paralysis if I sleep on my back.
What's sleep paralysis?
It's when a demon comes into your room and holds you down in the middle of the night. Is the easiest way I can explain it.
It's a demon?
It's like you wake up in the middle of the night and you cannot move. Like, you can't sit up. It feels like something's pressing on your chest. I've had that a couple of times. Every time I try to sleep on my back, I get raped by a sleep demon.
Oh no! So I had when I was a little boy, we had these thing called big mouth suckers, and they were really these giant Google big mouth sucker. It was a
put the child locks.
It
on
was
the Google
a
search
giant.
first.
It was a giant sucker from like the 90s.
Look at the fish. Oh no, that's
it was a
fish
big
that people put their
It was a
dicks
big round sucker that was too big for your mouth, right?
in. Wow, economical.
And so it was like a giant jawbreaker. And so I had this dream once that I was in, and I was probably like 9 years old. I had a dream that I was in an elevator with a man in a bright blue suit, and I knew it was the devil. And he offered me a big mouth sucker, and I knew if I take it, that I would have to go with him. And I fucking took it.
Yeah.
I took it.
That was a no-brainer.
Setting me up for my whole life in Hollywood. It started young.
When did you sell your soul? When I was 9 for a big
sucker.
mouth sucker.
Exactly.
And they're like, that's interesting because that's what we call everybody in the Illuminati.
Okay, speaking of the Illuminati, so I have a couple of people in my life who hardcore believe in the Illuminati. And the thing is, I'm not going to say that it doesn't exist, but I will say this. The thing that they've told me about the Illuminati and the fact that I've not been approached by the Illuminati, I'm pissed.
Every celebrity I know says the same thing. They're like, what the fuck? Like, what, am I not good enough?
Exactly. So and so they're like this. Well, they put you into a pit and everybody has sex with you, and it's in front of a group of people wearing masks and robes. And I'm like, okay, now what's the bad part? What's gonna happen next? I'm like, no, you sell your soul, but it's not you're selling your afterlife. You're selling your life to them. And I'm like, how much is it for?
Yeah.
Is it for hundreds of millions of dollars?
It's 2024. We have to think economically.
And I'm like, the fact that nobody has asked me to join the Illuminati, if it does exist, I am pissed at you, Illuminati.
Yeah, honestly, I would be offended.
No, but the Illuminati, like, I just want to say, Illuminati, if you're listening, I am offended. Imagine
if they were fans of the podcast but still didn't invite you.
I won't do. I'm not going to abduct anybody. I'm not going to do anything crazy. But if you just want to control me, like determine what kind of 5-in-1 bath product I use, or get me to endorse a product that I should be endorsing, I'm here for it.
Yeah, but I don't think you would.
Look,
I don't think you would do well in any type of cult because there's so many activities.
I hate going
and
outside.
You don't like doing more than one thing a day.
Yeah, apparently one of the Illuminati cult places is a cabin in the woods.
Yeah, that's the main reason
Can
why
you move
I feel
into a
like
skyscraper in Koreatown?
that's the main reason I feel like I wouldn't
Look,
be susceptible to joining a cult is
so
because they
Isaac
want to hang out all the
Isaac
time.
has pulled up this thing. So it says benefits of the Illuminati. The Illuminati.
Why do
look,
they have a website as if somebody could just apply? You can?
You can just sign up right now.
No, but I bet it's like it's a catfish Illuminati.
This is totally fake.
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
this is Scientology.
Illuminati-fraternityofficial.org/benefits.
I mean, that sounds official. .org sounds official.
But look,
That's an
look at the
organization.
benefits of the Illuminati. The first photo is a bunch of money.
Yeah.
The second photo is
Is
a
more
briefcase of money. The
But you
third
can
one,
get a cash reward of $200,000. They say.
the third one is an M-Class Mercedes. I mean, a BMW. There's a recall on BMWs right now. The BMW that I'm trying to buy. Oh, you can get they'll give you the Tower Bridge.
Yeah, you can get a 1-month holiday fully paid to your dream tourist destination. 1-year golf membership package.
I will say this though, if for people out there that don't know, you can
should
just
we watch the commercial?
You can just go to England without selling your soul to the Illuminati. You won't get a briefcase full of money.
What's the commercial?
All right, here goes.
What if we get sucked in right now? Ooh.
I'm not afraid.
I'm not afraid.
Okay,
Doesn't feel like it.
I'm good. Okay,
Help is on the way.
Okay, I'm convinced. Okay, my question is, how far into this am I in a pit with a bunch of people having sex with me?
When does the group sex come in?
Ask that on your application.
Show me the application. This is probably the real Illuminati, and
I
we're all
know,
going to
right?
be murdered.
That's fine.
It's like when people, it's like when Robert Blake allegedly shot his wife.
Mm-hmm.
His defense was that he left her in the car and he went back to get his gun. No one would have thought that Robert Blake shot his wife because he went back in to get a gun. He didn't say I left my phone in there.
Yeah.
No, I left my gun in there. And people are like, well, he's not going to admit that he was carrying a gun and his wife got shot and shoot her. That's too on the nose. Maybe this is the actual Illuminati and they're doing all this to be like, look, we don't even exist. We're illuminati.fraternity.org.au.co.com.
It might not be real because for the message they wrote massage. So maybe that's where the group sex comes in.
Kelly.
And age is optional. It's not even required. So you could be a 16-year-old Illuminati member.
We all know we all know that they want people who are not over 45. Maybe that's why I'm not over 45.
Yeah, you're 38.
I'm 38. You better believe it.
I believe it.
Okay, fine.
And I'm almost 38.
You actually will be legitimately 38 on June 30th.
Yeah.
I'm taking Kelly. It's not a surprise. I'm taking Kelly to a restaurant called Giorgio Baldi for her birthday, and typically I like to ask people what they want to do for their birthday, but this is an experience that I really want you to have. Kelly's a birthday person, and I'm not a birthday person.
Am I a birthday person?
You are a birthday person. You like to celebrate your birthday. You want it acknowledged. I want it to pass under the cover of darkness. I don't want people to see my birthday's in the newspaper, and so I can't get away from it. So every year, people know that I'm getting older.
Yeah, it is interesting because I have zero qualms about aging whatsoever.
It's because you didn't grow up in the system, though.
Yeah.
I started this when I was pretty young.
Well,
and I
was in an Empire Carpet commercial when I was 5.
Yeah,
so.
but it didn't.
So who started in the industry first?
It
Am
must-
I right?
it must have been-
Ponderosa, you seen it? A fucking Garfield sleeping bag? Yeah, that was me, bitch. Sears catalog, Montgomery Ward, me. I've been in the industry for fucking ever. And I've been in the Illuminati since I was 18 when I got this nose ring. So fuck yourself. I said that all straight to camera, and I meant it.
Anyway, I'm taking Kelly to Giorgio Baldi for her birthday because she's a birthday person and I'm not.
But not on her birthday.
No,
because he
because
won't be here
because
because he always travels on my birthday.
I'm flying that day back from somewhere that I will be.
People who want to show up and see you.
Oh no! I'm working on your birthday. I'm filming that day.
yeah. I know.
Yeah.
I know. I saw it
Yeah,
on your
I'm
calendar.
flying. Yeah, I'm filming on the 30th. I can't get out of it.
No, it's okay. I would never ask you to get out of it. My birthday is one of those things that a lot of people miss because it's so close to 4th of July. So I used to do party buses all the time, like in my 20s. My birthday did become like a big celebration because it's kind of the start of summer and all that stuff. And I would plan like a themed party bus and all that. Like the first year I did it, I ended up paying, I think I paid like $600 or something so that nobody would have to pay. And then every year I was like, just pay a little bit of it and I'll pay the rest. And we went on bar crawls and did all that fun stuff. But then once I moved up here, because I was in Long Beach for such a long time, but once I moved up here, most of my friends were further away. And so my birthday's kind of fizzled out.
You don't consider yourself that you're a birthday person?
Not really. I mean, I haven't done anything for my birthday in years.
I would like Grant and Mylene to chime in on this. I want your family to chime in on this. You feel like a birthday person to me. My birthday's coming up. You'll say this. Yeah, you do.
No, I would say I'm turning 38, but it's not about my birthday. If people want to do things for my birthday, I'm fine. But like two years ago for my birthday, I donated blood. That was the big thing. I think you feel like I'm a birthday person because of that year in COVID that I said, anybody send a letter or whatever about a time that we had.
No,
together,
I just feel like I'm always aware of your birthday, and I learned your birthday date from repetition. Like, you're one of the only people's birthday I know.
maybe because it's 20 days after yours.
I can't remember Ty's birthday.
Well, that seems like a problem.
I know it now, but that took repetition too because he always likes to do stuff for his birthday. I'm not saying it's a fault.
No, but I disagree with you.
All right.
That's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not somebody who's like, don't do anything for my birthday.
I'm not saying that. I'm
Because
just
there
saying
are
that
some
you like
people
to
who are
celebrate
like,
your
I
birthday.
hate my birthday. I hate
Yeah.
my birthday. But I like an excuse to get people together. And generally, the birthday is the only thing that you can have that people will make an attempt. You know, like especially when you have a group of friends that everybody's got their own shit going on, it's like the one time that you can go, hey, can we do something together? But
Right.
I don't really give a shit about like
You don't
my
care about doing
birthday.
things for your birthday.
Yeah, not really.
I'm spending $600 on this meal.
I mean, I was shocked that you offered that, but now you offered it. So
So now we have to do it.
You even said, you're like, do you even want to do this? I'm like, I'm really flattered that you would even
No, I said,
want
do you want to do
something.
this or do you want to do something else? I didn't
Oh,
say, do
yeah,
you want
and
to do
so-
this or nothing?
Well, I don't know that that's what I was trying to say, but yeah, I mean, the expectation is that I would have done nothing. So you offering this is much better than nothing.
Well, so now
Now you got to figure out how to back out.
No, this year I'm doing it because I said I would, and I also want to go to this restaurant. But next year, new phone, who dis?
No, I mean, you're my close friend. If you didn't acknowledge a birthday to a close friend, I think that would feel something.
So that's what I was saying. It wasn't that you go out and take an ad in the newspaper, but I don't like it at all when it's
If somebody
acknowledged by
acknowledges it?
anybody. But it's in the newspaper, so I can't get away from it. So I don't answer my phone that whole day. I don't want to be. But it's going back to the idea of getting of aging in society, and that's something that I have a hard
Yeah.
time processing. So I avoid it. But also, I grew up in a family where we're very limited resources, and there are 5 of us.
Mm-hmm.
So these aren't things that were overly acknowledged because there weren't resources to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So you get used to not doing it. Ty threw me a birthday party in 2015. It was the first one I'd had since I was an adult.
Mm-hmm.
And it was jarring. It's jarring, and it's also like going back to the idea of attention that I can't control. It freaks me out. And not to say, and so I certainly don't want to say that you are trying to force people like with those things in their eyes to keep them open to look at you during their birthday. But you like to get friends together, and you're a birthday person in that way. I'm not.
yeah, I'm. It's more that I was like super social, and
Have we ever done anything, you and I, for my birthday specifically?
Well, last year for your birthday, you were MIA for 24 hours.
Yeah.
But we had plans, and you were MIA, and nobody knew.
yeah,
where
it's
you
because I
went.
don't like it.
No, but you also just forgot about the plans. You just drank all night.
Yeah, probably by myself. And but I don't like
disappeared.
it. And it goes back to, but anyway, we're going to Giorgio Baldi for your birthday, and I'm really excited because they have a white truffle cream corn anguillati, which is tiny little raviolis. That is the best thing I've ever eaten at any restaurant anywhere in the whole world, and I'm excited to show you that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not even an Italian food person, but
It's so good.
But when people like talk about Italian food that's really good, then I'm excited about that.
It's world-class restaurant.
Also, we're gonna go to Olive Garden soon.
Yeah, because my American Express card said that I get double points at Olive Garden. And actually, the day that I got offered Z Nation, my friend suggested that we smoke weed, which you know is not my favorite. And we went, and that's how they got me. They're like, what if we smoke weed and we go to the Olive Garden? Everything tastes amazing. And I love the Olive Garden. I went to the prom at the Olive Garden. It was brand new in my region. We drove 60 miles to the Olive Garden for prom and then 60 miles back. I think we had to start at like 2:30 in the afternoon. We ate at Olive Garden and went back to our little town, had prom. And so it has a big memory for me. Also, but the tour of Italy now, which I think is a chicken parmesan, a side of spaghetti, and a little square of lasagna, now costs $32. But anyway, my friend coaxed me into smoking weed and getting out of the house by saying that we could go to the Olive Garden, and I was there for it. So I'm high at the Olive Garden. I order a tour of Italy. It's massively expensive. And then my manager calls me and said my offer for Z Nation came in, and I was so high and confused. The offer was so low that I sat down in the Olive Garden parking lot and started crying. I'm literally sobbing into my phone, sitting on the pavement of the Olive Garden parking lot. That's hard to say. Olive Garden parking
lot.
Yeah, it's hard for me to say. The tour of Italy. It's right there. They have what's that white sauce called? Alfredo. I don't like Alfredo sauce.
Oh, that's the sauce that I do like.
Yeah, I don't like it.
I'm not a big fan of red sauce. I'll do like a spaghetti meat sauce occasionally, but I used to love pasta. It's really interesting because I just kind of grew out of that, and I don't know if it had to do with like, you know, growing up diet culture was so fucking insane. Like I put myself.
You think that's the reason why?
It's possible because I mean, pasta is so. I think it was just one of those food. It's like this is the guilty pleasure and blah blah blah, and it's like when you're constantly thinking about weight and all that stuff. And I, you know, my mom always, you know, was concerned about her weight and all, like, and I was so thin in high school. Like I look back at pictures and I was so emaciated. I was tiny, but I put myself on a psychological diet before I came to college. And I told myself I didn't like desserts and I didn't like Italian food. And I lost 15 pounds in a summer. I just like kept telling myself over and over. And I didn't eat desserts for years because I had convinced myself that I really didn't like them, and it worked. So that's the power of our brain, first of all.
Though.
But when I look at those pictures from my senior party, before I left for college, I was like, I look way too fucking skinny. And at the time, it was just always at that time growing up was hardcore because you were always too fat, no matter what you looked like.
I mean, I think it's sort of ever present though, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, yes, but when you look back at what was really popular and what people were saying about people's bodies back then,
like
it's
that was heroin chic times, right?
Yeah,
In the 90s.
That, and also when you look at like the pop stars, it's like Jessica Simpson had gained like a little bit of weight, and then I just remember in the time it was just such a big deal. And then looking back at those pictures, same as looking back at the pictures of myself, I'm like, what the fuck were we talking about?
Let me ask you this, and I don't want to make a supposition. I suppose, because I grew up with the opposite problem and the world treating me badly because I was so thin. What I kind of think is that women's body issues with being overweight is similar way of society doing men who are underweight.
Yeah, I believe that.
We're looked at as impotent. We're looked at as not capable. And
you don't take care of yourself.
Yeah. When I reported for depression once, the first time I talked to a doctor about it, it was like a 75-year-old man that told me that maybe it was because I didn't lift weights and don't have any women finding me attractive, because women couldn't possibly find me attractive. Boy, he was barking up like 19 wrong trees in that one consultation. But so it's interesting that people's relationship to food is taken from that, because I think about pasta as a godsend. because when I was so underweight, like also my metabolism is like hummingbird metabolism. It's not anymore. It's slowing down. But like I remember I wanted to gain weight so badly that I would melt Haagen-Dazs and drink them because it was 1,200 immediate calories. And then my doctor at the time said I was going to get diabetes from it. And there are other ways to do it. But just to try to take in, I once hired a trainer and went on a weight gaining program, and I was taking in 5,000 calories a day and exercising, and I lost 6 pounds at the end of it. Like it reminded me of like that scene in Interview with a Vampire where she chops off all of her hair, Kirsten Dunst does, and 2 seconds later it's growing right back. Nothing I could do would alter my body, and it really started to erode my confidence. And I got successful in the world. The New York Times said human bookmark DJ Qualls shines in the movie Road Trip. The Memphis commercial pill set up like an Auschwitz survivor. So I was getting all these messages, but how they were related to food was calorie dense, was good. And those are the things I want. I was doing a photo shoot for Detour magazine, which was a big fashion magazine in the early 2000s. I was on the side of the road in Culver, like in Century City, with a world famous photographer, and like feeling it. I was feeling it. And somebody drove by and in a southern accent in Los Angeles did this, "Eat a cheeseburger." And I was like, family, is that you? But those are the messages that I receive. So like when I look at that and think,
yeah, of course,
filling good meal. But I can also look at my friends on social media, like who have children, and it scares me that a lot of them who have weight problems will fetishize food. Like talk about how much they're not eating and how well they're eating, and then make a really fatty, like high calorie dessert and use it as rewards for their children. And I've noticed that their children are inheriting those ideas of food and weight issues. So the subconscious things that we tell ourselves about food, which was given to us, we pass on to other people. It
stems into eating disorders, and like I mean, even it is crazy how much of a slippery slope it becomes, because you go into a world where you're like monitoring your calories because everybody says calories in, calories out. Well, if that were completely true and there were no other factors, then I would be really thin, because like I eat so much less than most people I know. Like a kid's meal is more than enough food for me. And like I remember when I had gained a little bit of weight when I was on Jim's podcast, and people were like, Kelly needs to stop eating. And Jack would just look at it and be like, what the fuck? Like, cause he's gone to many meals with me and I'm full after a couple of bites. I eat like a fucking bird. But I have all these fucking other health issues. I had the failed egg donation. I think I have PCOS. So my hormones are fucking crazy. It's not just calories in, calories out. And that's why it's so weird to me that people feel confident enough to say it with their whole chest when they talk about other people's bodies.
But at the same time, you can know that there are other factors at place and then still internalize ideas about food. They're not mutually exclusive. You can know that there are other things going on.
Labeling foods good or bad is a slippery slope to an eating disorder. Like monitoring every calorie you intake or your macros and all of that stuff. For some people, it's not sustainable to do that because it becomes obsessive.
Right.
Like I find myself, I track my meals every now and again for like a week just to make sure that the stuff that I'm eating falls within the range, but I know that I can't go further than that, because if I turn it into like a real streak, I'll keep going, and then I become obsessed with it. And when things aren't working the way that I want them to, then you go into a binge because you go, fuck it, none of this is working anyway. It is really, and also all of it's hard
and
to
also
manage.
Getting a diet advice or getting any sort of advice about food from people is interesting because they're interpreting that through their own like what is right. Like Ty is the kind of person that's like, oh, ice cream's bad for me, I'm gonna have the whole gallon right now and then exercise. But also things don't affect him for some reason. Like he can exercise for 3 days and then have a 6-pack from
that's how I was before my egg donation.
It's annoying.
It was
but
never
he doesn't tell me what to eat.
Yeah, it was never hard for me to lose weight, so I didn't ever worry about that. Once I had like this massive hormone shift and like my organs weren't working properly, that all went away. So it is a really interesting place for me to be in, because I had always been able to bounce back easily. And of course I know your metabolism changes as you get older, but it feels like now I'm like, there's no fucking winning. Like I lose weight if I do keto, but keto's really fucking hard to sustain.
Is it bad on your kidneys?
No.
So I heard somewhere.
I mean, there's ketoacidosis, which is like you have too much protein and that's not good for you, but that's not what the ketogenic diet is. It's basically low carb, high fat. And that's the problem with the diet industry is because there is a vested interest for the powers that be to keep us fat and sick.
Of course.
So it's like they won't tell you what actually is the right thing for you. I just
found out that high fructose corn syrup is illegal in England.
Yeah.
Like it's not put in Coke. It's made with cane sugar in the same way that it is in Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
So like high fructose corn syrup is because we grow so much corn. That's why it's in everything.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of like it was a corn surplus, kind of like our cheese surplus,
and
which is why we had the Got Milk ads and government cheese and all of those things.
I found that out recently the other day because a woman on some social media platform was posting about what the yellow tops on Cokes mean. Do you know this? Mm-mm. The yellow tops during Passover, because Jews that observe the dietary restrictions, the dietary restrictions, during that time are not allowed to eat corn. And that's one of the things they can't eat. And so during Passover every year, the things that are made with corn, the corn syrup's taken out and they put in cane sugar, have yellow tops on them. And then a bunch of people chimed in after them and were like, it's the only time of year that we ever buy. We're not Jewish. The only time of year we buy soda. It's Mexico that we pay a premium for, the Coke made in Mexico, but it's the same price. So people stock up on it all year long. I had no idea about this.
Yeah. I mean, there's a reason that people can go to Europe and eat pasta and bread and bag and like gelato and all of that stuff for weeks and come back and have lost.
I hate toilet humor or referencing anything. The fact that I admitted that I had diarrhea, I don't know if it was on this episode or the one before that, was like the third hardest thing I've ever done. And I had cancer. So let me just
twice.
So if that could just tell you what
cancer 1, cancer 2, admitting I had diarrhea on a podcast.
I hate toilet stuff so bad. One of the reasons why I bought my house is that there's a very private toilet upstairs for my guests in case they were in some sort of distress when they visit. Like I think about that kind of stuff, right? Like people that can go to the bathroom in public, I am like can do that in public.
I can poop in public.
I would rather.
But I don't.
When I saw American Pie and shit break, I was like this. You finally.
I've
understand.
never had a situation like that in public though.
I couldn't know that he would go home from school to go to the bathroom.
Right. But like. I also don't people that can't poop in public. I'm like, that's so disruptive to your life though. It's like, because for me, I'm like, oh, I gotta go now.
I don't even poop anymore. I go to a clinic 3 days a week and they just flush it out of me.
Colonics.
Yeah. We should actually do a colonic. I actually don't do that. I do poop.
I've done it one time.
I don't. As long as I don't have to look at the tube, I'll be fine.
Yeah, that's what they're paying for.
Yeah, exactly. As long as
I pay them for the tube to be stuck in my ass, but they pay me to watch it.
As long as it happens in complete silence with nobody acknowledging where I am, or
just wear these,
or maybe exactly these giant shield sunglasses, or maybe somebody just doing this. You're actually not even here. You're not even here.
Wow, it's amazing. You're the first person we've ever seen without poop in their body. And you're like, thank you. I'm in the Illuminati.
Thank you.
They take care of that for us.
You should try it sometimes. And then they'll get upset that nobody asked them to join the Illuminati.
What if you had to do like
no.
There are companies now that will like test your poop to check your gut health, and so you like poop in a box and mail it back to them. Forrest has done it.
No, here's how I'll have that done. If I go to a clinic with those giant shield sunglasses on, I'm driven there. I've taken 2 Valium. I'm put in a room. I'm put to sleep. They put things up inside me. They evaluate me and then drop me off, and I wake up at Disneyland.
I think I would be pretty much fine with anything in a medical setting, as long as I had a sheet that like came to my chin and my head was not I just don't want to make eye contact with anybody while they're inside me, or
which is also how you have sex.
Yes. Yeah. I just put a pillow over my head. They put it over my head. I'm screaming most of the time. I did have to tap out once during a one night stand because somebody choked me without asking, and I was like, oh God, and I was just like and then he left.
Silence.
Good times. He came over on his break from work.
I had a lot of things to add about choking.
On my stairs, like Cinderella.
Oh, that's sweet.
It was like the bar towel because he was a bartender.
Did you go around to every bar finding the guy that it fit?
No, I just threw it in the trash.
No, when you said choking, I went to a different place.
What place?
A nice one.
Oh, the nice type of choking. Yeah, I mean, I don't think he was trying to kill me. I think he was trying to be sexy. But I'm like, this feels like a conversation could have been had because I don't know you at all.
Yeah, exactly.
You just came to my house.
I met you on the internet. You said that you were Mark Wahlberg. And you were not Mark Wahlberg. Now we're having sex and you're choking
And
me.
it's confusing because if you weren't Mark Wahlberg, why are you choking me right now?
Ouch.
Got him.
Yeah.
He's never going to live that down.
Hey, actually, I can't say it. I was going to say something. No, so I don't want to be censored, but I'm not going to say egregiously bad things either.
Yeah. You can look in the news and see what he has to say about Mark Wahlberg.
That's what I was going.
Just a quick
That's
Google
what I was
search.
going into. Don't do it. That's what I was going into, but I don't want to bring up that. I brought up Kelly Clarkson's divorce. I think I've done enough gossipy
Yeah.
stuff, but that's not even really gossipy.
No,
if something happened
it's
5 years
news.
ago,
We're allowed to talk about things that are like actually happening. We're not speculating.
if something
on,
happened 5 years ago, it's not current gossip.
yeah. And also, even if things are current gossip, we're allowed to have opinions on them. We'll try to be
Are we?
nice. Yeah, of course.
But in quiet, by candlelight.
That's what podcasts are for. To gossip about what's going on.
I know, but I just hate gossip about people's personal lives. I hate it. Do I? I do, though. I really don't say a lot of gossip, do I?
No. But we should start. Because that's what people like listening to.
Exactly.
We should do it
No
on the
wonder we're not
Let's do it on
successful.
the Golden Girls themed cruise. Which, by the way, if it makes you... Never mind, I'm not going to
I
say
would
that. That's
I
gonna
would
make me
go
sound
on a
like
Golden
slut.
Girls themed cruise in a second.
Let's do it.
Would you guys ever have your own like DJ and Kelly cruise?
Oh, that would be
Oh,
amazing.
100%.
I would love to do that.
Supernatural is doing a cruise in 2025, and I'm going to go on it.
I was telling him, like, a couple of friends of mine that have like big podcasts or are influencers or whatever, they'll do these like trips where it's them and maybe 12 people that follow them or whatever, and it's like, we're going here, and it's all set up through this website.
Do
And
they
so they
treat
have like
them
events
well?
and stuff like that. Do the influencers treat their fans well?
I hope they don't go there and like act like they don't want to be there.
Oh, no, of course. Yeah. Like the people that I'm talking about specifically build community. It's like
right.
they're there, they're doing the events, all of that stuff, but they have like dinners, they can do hikes and blah, whatever, wherever the location is, there will be like, not that we would do hikes.
Well, I was going to say, what would our, did you see?
Ours would just be like, meet us in the dark bar at 11 a.m.
Kelly. So
and then we're going to move to the other dark bar at 2.
the
and then we'll
reason
have
why
dinner.
she said we won't do hikes is that she just saw, she said
The
they have
look on
dinner,
your
they have
face.
hikes, and then my eyes went totally vacant.
He said, never mind. That's why we're going to do a cruise. No hikes.
If you are interested in sitting somewhere drinking umbrella drinks with us for a lot of days in a row and going like to museums in the daytime and then bars at night, boy, do I have a cruise for you.
Yeah. No, I think we would have. I think our trip would be super fun. We're fun people to be around.
And we would eat pasta. I
There
love
would be
pasta.
trivia.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, you're selling me.
We'll plan it.
Okay, perfect.
Great. How are we on time?
We're done.
We're done. Wow. We never even introed this episode.
Hey guys, hey guys, we're gonna try something different today. We're gonna intro the episode afterward. Hey, it's DJ Qualls. Welcome to Locked and Probably Loaded with DJ and Kelly. Hey Kelly,
Hey. Bye.
how were you?
How were you? I was great, but now I'm terrible. Just kidding. Guys, follow us on social media at Loaded Pod. Check out our Patreon, patreon.com/loadedpod. Tell your friends. Tell your friends. Tell your family. Tell everybody you know. Rate, review, subscribe.
But I probably wouldn't listen to this with my parents.
I mean, I saw Wolf of Wall Street in theaters on Christmas with my parents.
But
so-
and it still registered with you. What experience was that? Was it that a great experience?
I was sitting next to my dad as cocaine was being done out of a stripper's asshole, and I was like,
In real life.
remind you of anything, Dad? The 70s.
Oh god. So I will say. We'll finish it with this. I asked somebody I was related to, whose name I will not mention. One thing I was like, how were the 70s? And like, well, they're overrated. The clothes were heavy. I felt hot all the time, but I miss Quaaludes.
Oh God, what I wouldn't give to do Quaaludes.
I would love to try
one time.
Quaalude.
God.
So guys, we'll start a GoFundMe to bring back Quaaludes. Until then, see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Sit on down and pour yourself a glass.
And tune into your favorite podcast.
Where things will be misquoted.
And opinions ain't sugar-coated.
'Cause DJ and Kelly are locked and probably loaded.